Hi, I'm Pamela K. Kinney, and I'm here to do a reading of a short story. It's going to be the first one, Death of the Apostrophe. It just was published in the spring issue of Sirens Call Ezine, that you can read it for free, the whole PDF of the whole anthology, at Sirens Call Publications. And afterwards, it will be a poem, Dementia, that was it's included in this volume 12 of Howard Writer Association's Poetry Showcase. And as you can see, a lovely cover. And now, get ready, sit back and relax, and let me read a story to you. The Death of the Apostrophe. You need to have more conjunction between sentences before the story is right, said the first sentence. John slammed his fist down on the desk. Shut up! This is my story. Yeah, like you can write, the word count giggled. Wasn't your last novel a flop? Asked Akama. I heard his agent say that if he doesn't do a bestseller this time, the agency's through with him, whispered an adverb to a pronoun. The writer tried to calm down, but instead a headache formed behind his eyes. Look, guys, let's write the story my way this time, and the next one's yours. How about that? Shit, growled the last word. I'm at the end of this miserable mess, and to tell you the truth, there won't be a next novel. It's that bad. Yeah, like a penny awful, agreed the title. Even I'm pathetic. Blood of the Vampire. Sounds like something a 5-year-old brought up. Piped up an exclamation point in a bored voice. For an exclamation point to be bored was the last straw for John. He bolted from his office and grabbed a hammer from the utility room. He carried it back to the office, and ignoring the screams, he brought it down hard, smashing a hole in the screen. Sparks and crackling sounds filled the air as the laptop died. For insurance, the power cord was yanked from the machine and wall at the same time and tossed aside. That should shut you up, said John with a snarl. The printer whirred to life and began printing up pages of the novel, shooting it out like cannonballs. He slammed the hammer down on the printer, down and down, again and again, until nothing remained. John thumped down in his chair and dropped the hammer. He hit the carpet with a soft thud. His hand cupping the back of his head, he leaned back and laughed as he surveyed the damage. Guess I need to get a new laptop and printer, but God, it's peaceful. No damn words jabbering at me. He savored the quiet until he heard something. Oh no, it can't be. The headache pounded as something appeared on the screen. It was a page from his novel, some of the words missing from the hole in the middle. John jumped up and picked up the machine with his hands. I destroyed you. There's no way you can come back on. Not with a hole in you. Well, it looks like you don't know everything. Just like you don't know how to write a good story either, Dingleberry, snorted a period. I'm so ashamed to be part of this manuscript. What kind of software did my wife pick up for me? John threw the laptop. It slammed into the wall and, leaving a crack in the drywall, slid down to the floor. He grabbed the hammer and went to work pulverizing it. I'll stop you. Do you hear me? Instead of screaming please, voices mocked him. Hey, don't blame us. Blame that bitch wife of yours. She's the one that bought the software with your credit card, along with that butt-ugly lamp for the living room. The lamp you hate. Gritting his teeth, John banged harder with the hammer. They were right. He hated that lamp. Maybe he would use the hammer on that next. The yelling finally stopped. John clutched the hammer with a depth grip as he straightened and turned, his breathing hard. Sweat beaded his face. One drop dripped from his double chin. What's going on? It was his wife. Lily stood there. Her mean little eyes, which she always thought of as the color of shit, darted from the wreckage to him. Her mouth opened and closed like a fish. John saw something stuck between her tobacco-stained teeth, most likely from the dinner she had just come back with the girls. Girls, his ass. A bunch of old hags who gossiped like nasty hens they were. "Hey, sweetheart," he said, walking over to her and giving her a peck on her cheek. Makeup she used to cover her doughy complexion plastered his lips. He resisted the urge to wipe it off. "Did you have a good time?" Lily shifted her eyes to him. They held a suspicious gleam. "Forget my night out. I can see you were busy while I was gone." John shrugged. "Oh, you mean all this?" He jerked a thumb at the damage. "I had to." Had to. What? Destroy them, or they would have gone on and on. Who was going on and on? Lily backed away. The novel. It was trying to tell me how to write the storyline. Uh-huh. I see. She inched toward the door. John frowned. No, she obviously didn't see. Lily looked at him like he'd gone crazy or something. Honest, they were talking to me. I think it has to do with that new writing program you bought. John, your novel can't speak. Software doesn't cause the computer to make your story communicate with you like people do. He grabbed her arm, his fingers digging into her skin as he waved the hammer with the other. I swear to you they did. It's that goddamn software, thinking that since I'm such an awful writer that some stupid CD for the computer will make me better. He drew her closer. Well, I'm not such a bad author, and you're nothing but some old bitch with menopause who thinks she's better than me. I don't think I'm better than you, John. I love you. Lily's voice grew shrill with hysteria as she struggled to tug her arm out of his grasp. As if suddenly he had stepped outside of his body, John watched her frantic attempts to free herself with a detached air. He saw the hammer rise up and down upon her head, cracking it open like an egg. With the same detached air, John saw the hammer with Lily's blood and bits of brain fall to the carpet. He saw himself looking down at her body, which laid on the carpet like a broken doll, her limbs all askew. Blood seeped into the carpet, turning the golden color to a rich red one. He found he preferred the red color. Boy, you couldn't kill her, right? John turned and saw that the laptop had come to life again. On it, the words were jeering at him. Can't write a novel and he can't kill his wife properly, remarked one apostrophe. The man's an idiot. No! Screamed John. He picked up the bloody hammer and battered at what remained of the processor. Stay dead this time. He kept at it until the couple from next door, on hearing the ruckus, came over and found him. The wife shrieked as she almost stepped in his murdered wife's blood. Frightened, they ran back home and called the police. The police found John still hammering away at the laptop pieces strewn across the carpet, yelling, You're dead! You hear me? Dead! Over and over, their guns trained on him. The police managed to get him to lay down the hammer and allow them to handcuff him. The manuscript cheered as the policemen led him to their cruiser outside. Demon-saned at his court trial for the murder of his wife, John was sentenced to a mental institution. Percy, one of the male nurses at the McCutcheon Mental Institution, gave his co-worker, Sherry, a strange look. What's John doing, Sherry? Well, Dr. Thomas said that after months of therapy, he seems to be doing better. That I could go ahead and let him write if that's what he wanted to do. I gave him paper and a pen. Do you know what he's writing? He did write some bestsellers once upon a time. I'm not sure, but I think he's calling it Death of the Apostrophe, or something titled like that. Both nurses crossed over to the other side of the room. What harm can writing on paper do? Hey, John! You think you're going to kill us with this new novel? Asked the title with a laugh. Yeah, he might, said an apostrophe. It's such a stinker that it'll kill us to be the words for this trash. They laughed, but John ignored them as he continued writing. Besides, he knew where the nurses kept the scissors in this place. The end. And now for the poem Dementia. Winter hit us that year. We burrowed in our homes safe, or so we thought. But we didn't count on the long man's coming, wearing madness like a coat. A Sodom and Gomorrah of icy disturbance. He had a grin of cannibal sharpness and terrible eyes, spreading monstrosity like gifts we deserve. Like the Pied Piper of Hamelin, he lured and bedeviled us, made us followed like frightened mice. Switching our metamorphosis on with dark magic. Some fought the change, brave souls, foolish souls. We slaughtered the squealing pigs, gnawed flesh and bone, and scattered their ghost to the blizzard's laughing wind. That terrible night we stalked and killed, no longer human, no longer sane. The long man watched, keeping time, and just before the sun rose to banish the night, he led us away to new homes in distant insanity. The end. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the story and poem. You should have been close when you